watching a different show. It's donkey. You ain't a captain of nothing but a sinking ship. Don't do this to me, Harry. The Ohio State. It's Ohio State. What do you mean, the? 312-988-15.
Hello?
You tell Johnny all you've heard and seen. Sometimes it's good to just yell about football. That's right. That's right. Welcome in. Welcome back, folks. The ramp to camp continues. There's rat poison being distributed all across the country, every which way you look, everywhere. It's that time of year where you hand out rat poison to everyone. It's everyone. And the SEC Media Day thing is its own propaganda pump up machine. That's like one of them that's in my head. It's rat poison for everybody, but you understand why. And it's up to you to decide how much of it you're going to eat and how much of it you're just going to let sit there in the corner of the basement. Like, it's rat season. It's rat poison season across the country. And there's a couple things with it that are bugging me that I want to go over. And then we got to figure out what's the reality here. What's the realities here? Not just with Notre Dame, but with these other teams too. Rat poison it's being handed out like candy on a Halloween. And we got to figure out what is real and what isn't. So welcome in on a Work It Out Wednesday. Welcome to the longest running, the largest, and might I add, the strangest Notre Dame call-in show in the internet in America. Oh, we like to have a good time here. You never quite know what you're going to get. You never know what you're going to get. So, as always, thanks for being here. If Freeman teams are susceptible to rat poison, well. Chief Keef. That's something Notre Dame's got to prove they're over. Eating the rat poison. You got to prove that you're over it. And I'm going to I'll add this as well. It is possible that I distribute rat poison too. I mean, I guess technically anything you do, any video, any article you do where you're pumping your team up and talking all this positivity, I guess that's rat poison. Like, I'm not saying I'm not doing it too for a living, but it's just there's certain aspects of it that are a little bit absurd to me. And so let's get into this. And there is a Notre Dame angle here that I brought up on the Sunday night show where I was talking Notre Dame. I got asked a bunch of questions, and I came up with an answer about the Notre Dame Ohio State situation. And I came up with something that just kind of popped in my head that makes me feel positive about where this is all headed. Like, not rat poison, but like some specific angle of this reacted to the Ohio State loss. And we're gonna talk about that because I think it could help us feel a little better. So I'm gonna talk about some over-the-top rat poison, maybe deliver some of my own. And then we'll get into it. And we got some good callers waiting. So thank you very much. I appreciate it. Yeah, these crown things or whatever, in the chat, I didn't do that. I don't know what it is. It's got to be something YouTube is rolling out. When I was on the 247 site for one of the commitments, I was getting those crown things in the chat. I think it's a way to encourage activity in the chat. I don't know. I think they're testing it. I don't always see it. Some people see it. I don't know how it works. I think it's a beta thing they're testing. And I think the more you engage or donate or the more followers you have when you're in there is how you get the crowns. I think it's something like that, where the more you do or the more you're engaged, the more you're gonna get a crown or something like that. But just know it's nothing I control. It's something that YouTube's rolling out to try and get people more engaged. So that's, some people say they see it, some people don't see it. I don't know, but it isn't a thing I'm doing. It isn't anything I'm setting up. So I have no idea. Everybody wants crown. I don't distribute the crowns. We have crowns and then we could have clowns. They should do that too. And the stupider your stuff is, the higher the clown goes up. You have crowns and clowns, and then Ronald would move right up. So I don't know, but it's nothing I'm doing. I don't know what's going on. It's YouTube trying to get more people engaged in the chat, as far as I could tell. So I don't know. As always, thanks for being here. You can find the program on YouTube. Do it. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Appreciate it very much. Give the video a thumbs up. Notifications on that way you don't miss nothing. Twitter, search bar Always Irish or at Always Irish Inc. Emails alwaysirishnd@gmail.com. Audio only, anywhere you want it, you can get it. Call in line 312-900-8815. Dial it up. Tell Johnny all you've seen. Notre Dame on SI. Read all about it. We got something for you every day over there. We're ramping up. Everything we're doing is ramping up. It is an exciting time of the year. Everybody's getting engaged. So some people are saying the more you donate, the more you move up in the crowd, whatever. Hey, if YouTube's trying to help more people get engaged in the chats, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. It's totally fine. Okay. Help me if I'm wrong, but why is it okay where John or any other person goes and trolls LSU at BK for any little thing, but when I give an unpopular, unbiased football opinions, it's called trolling? You got to understand where you're at, Kent. You're talking to Notre Dame people, man. You're talking to Notre Dame people, so they're going to be sensitive to you taking shots at them or whatever. It's that simple. And with Kelly, there is like legitimate, I would argue factual, like basis to go at him for stuff that's ridiculous. But yeah, like it would be way different, Kent, if I'm in an LSU YouTube chat and then I'm saying bad things about Kelly and then I'm wondering why everybody's mad at me. Like, come on, dude, you got to know where you're at. You got to know what house you're in. Like, you know what I'm saying? I did a Kelly thing for fun because it isn't my problem. The best time to have fun with Kelly's weirdness is when it is no longer your issue. It is so you can have fun with it and not have to deal with the consequences. That's the most fun I could ever have here. But dude, that's like me going to an LSU chat, ripping Kelly and being like, why is everybody ganging up on me? I don't understand. Even if what you're saying is true, nobody wants to hear it when you're on an enemy channel. Right? Like, it's that simple. Kent, you're a smart guy. You know, like, it's not like I can't do it on an LSU channel and be like, why are all these people ganging up on me and disagree with me and hate me? I don't understand. Like, you understand completely. It's just, yeah. The whole Notre Dame's irrelevant, but I got to be here every day thing. Like, that cracks me up too. Totally irrelevant, but I'm going to be here every single day, damn it. I'm going to be here every day. Like, it's just funny. So Notre Dame on SI, read all about it. Patreon.com/alwaysirish. We got a great team, man. Me, two former Notre Damers, Jared Clark, Mike Goolsby, ND Recruiting 01, covering all the recruiting stuff, man. We got a good team over there. Appreciate everybody that's there already. I will check my email. I got a couple people that have emailed me stuff. I got to get on that and check that. A few callers we're going to go to you. Let me get through one of my points here, and then we'll do this. And the other thing with me trolling Kelly and for every little weird thing like Andrew Gilmore said and all this, I openly admit I'm not a neutral arbiter there. Like, to me, that's a big deal. On the actual, even the episode, I said, you have to understand, I am admitting I know I am not a neutral arbiter here, and I am looking for things to be able to troll and have fun with because it's a fun hobby and it's no stress for me anymore. Um, but at least, unlike a lot of people on the internet that do politics or sports or whatever else, they act like they're neutral, but they're not. I actually admit that I'm totally not neutral and I'm just looking to nail the guy for being weird. So, like, whatever. So, but at least I feel better about doing that kind of stuff when I admit that it's coming from a biased place and I'm not acting like a neutral college football arbiter and all this stuff comes in my head neutrally. Let's be honest. I'm looking for a reason to have fun with the guy. I'm just saying. I'm just throwing that out there. At least I'm trying to be like honest about it. Okay, let me get into this real quick for a minute, and we'll hand it over to the calls. Okay. Um, this show talks about Kelly every episode. No, we don't. Just quit being hyperbolic. No, we don't. We really don't. Only when it comes up and there's something going on. Okay. If it's the lamest thing to see, then go away. I do not care. I cannot be more clear. I don't care. If it's the lamest thing and my show's lame, then don't be here. Doesn't matter to me. We'll be just fine. But don't exaggerate. It is not, it's annoying talking about him. I only try and do it when something pops up these days. It really is annoying. So it's not all the time. It's $2 holler from the chief. Shut up, Cat. He's blocked, so it's worth the bread. Kent, you should show up at a tailgate. Come to Old South Bend. Hang out with Johnny for a day. Have a couple cold ones and get immersed in the Irish. Get immersed in Irish lore. That's what you should do. Do you guys remember when Nick Saban used to talk about rat poison? And he was talking about the media pumping up teams to an absurd level. And they were saying, oh, aren't you going to win it all or something? And he's like, I hope my players aren't listening to that rat poison where it's just all pumping up your team, like whatever, and saying they're going to destroy everybody. And it gets in the player's head and then they think they won it already, and it's rat poison to be buying into your own media. There's a lot of rat poison in the air, you guys. There's a lot of rat poison in the air. And it's not just Notre Dame related. It's every team related. And so let's be honest about this. I'm in this business. I totally get it. It's a new year. Everyone is undefeated right now. Everybody and every fan base and every media base wants to believe their team has a chance right now because they technically do. That's the best part about this time of the year is nobody's lost any games yet. It's perfectly fair to have optimism about your team because nobody's lost a game and no one wants to enter a year already feeling negative. So the narrative for every single team is how it can go right and the good players, we're going to highlight our good players and whatever. And there's positivity in the air. It gets clicks. Everybody wants to. Between now and camp in the first game, everybody's buying back in, right? And everybody's excited. So I totally understand it. The media people want to get clicks and you bring people in to do that with positive articles, all that stuff, right? All of that. So everybody wants to believe their team has a chance right now because technically they do. But man, it's just a little tough. It's a little tough to take seriously and to read and hear. And it's dominating the airwaves and ESPN and all this stuff. It's just, you have these conference media days now, and every team is the best team. And everybody's going to be great. And LSU's winning the Super Bowl. That's some stuff I've learned in the last few days. That's some of the stuff I've learned in the last few days. But everybody's going to be great. Everybody this and that. Here's the one that really gets me. Yeah, everybody's running the table. I'm not good at math. We all know that. Ask Pat. I'm not good with the math. Everybody's going to run the table. So I don't know how that math works out, that everybody's going to run the table. Make the equation work for Johnny Boy here, that everybody's going to run the table. But here's the one that really gets me. And then we'll go to the calls. This really, really gets me. I can't tell you in the last handful of days or week how many media guys I've heard say or write, this is a huge year for, and then insert any team or any head coach. It's the lamest thing of all time. It's a huge year. I've been seeing it's a huge year for this team and this coach or whatever. Just once. Just once. I'd like an article written or a video made where it says this is not a hugely important year for this team or coach. But like I'm getting to the point where it wears you out. It wears you out, man. It's just I would like somebody to say what team and coach is this not a big year for? Somebody write the article. Tell me which coach and which team this isn't a huge year for, a critical year. It's a critical year for everybody every year and every coach. But just once, I'd like to hear, is there anyone where it's not a big year and it's not a critical year for the coach and the team? I just don't get it, man. Like, I get it. I just don't like it. It's just Anders says that statement's definitely true for BK. It's playoff or bust. I'd like to know what the bust is. Is there that much heat? I don't know. I don't know if there's that much heat. Man, that Clemson game is so big for them. It's so big for them. But like, it's predictable. It happens every year. It wears me out. It wears me out. Somebody tell me the team in the year and their media people think it's not a huge year. I don't get it. It's just, not Ryan Day. He needs to be Michigan. See, even with the championship winning coach, it's a huge year because they want him to be Michigan and you got to prove that you're back again. Like, so it applies to everybody. It's the lamest thing ever. It's a huge year. And the reality is, it's always a huge year for everybody and every team. But the reasons why change. That's my big takeaway. It's always a huge year for everybody, but the reasons why change. Right? Nobody's okay with falling off or losing a bunch of years or losing a bunch of games or whatever. But it's always big. It's just why. So for Notre Dame, last year it was Marcus Freeman year 3, rocky first couple years. You got to prove you're a playoff level team and all that stuff. And you did that. And now it's a huge year because you got to prove that wasn't a one and done and a lucky run or whatever. And you got to prove you're here to stay. So that's my thing. It's just, it's a huge year. Yeah, it's always a huge year. I think it's more interesting to debate the reasons why. Debate the reasons why it's such a huge year. Yeah, big year for everybody. Let's do a couple chats. So that's my thing with it. But it's just been, the job is pump every team up now while you can before they lose. And then you can't use that team like for that narrative again. I don't know. It's just a bit much with the rat poison, man. I don't know. I don't know. Let's do a couple of these chats. Coming for that number one spot, the dong. Appreciate that. $2 holler. Shut up, Ken. Welcome, Ken. Now shut up. WPP, $10 holler. John, don't you know that heaping praise at a team is the only way to motivate young men? Don't give them criticism. Might hurt their feelings. WPP is an old school motivator. And he believes you got to break them down and let them earn their way back up. Break them down and earn their way back up. And you can't be overly positive. It'll go to their head. It'll all go to their head. Oh, man. Pepto-Bismol on a dynasty run in John's house. Not quite yet, but when we get close to the season, I'll need to load up. They need to start selling that thing in a gallon jug, not them little bottles. And you know what else I'm not a fan of? They have the tablets. They have the tablets for that stuff now. It's like a pink little wafer or something you put in your mouth and it dissolves. I don't get that coating I want to feel. I want to feel that coating in my stomach, man. You know what I'm talking about? When you chug that Pepto before a big Notre Dame game and you feel it go down and just kind of cover your stomach to protect your couch. Like, protect your couch during the beginning of the Notre Dame season. You never know what's going to happen, man. So, yeah, that's good. So I don't know, you guys. Let me know. People have been sending me. They've been sending me the tweets and some of the links to the articles and the videos and the takes, and I've decided everyone's going undefeated. So you can figure out how the math works. But according to what I've read and heard, everyone's going undefeated and everything's going to be fine for everybody and everybody's going to the playoff. I don't know how the math works. Math is my worst subject, and I don't know how it's all going to play out. So I don't know. Let's do some phone calls. If you are on a hold, you're going to be on the air, and there's a couple of newer people or less regular people jumping on. What does Rick James say about that couch? I can't even say. I can't say the beginning and I can't say the end. I can't do either. I can't say the beginning and I can't say the end. Blank yo couch. I can't do it. It's hard to do the phrase when you can't begin it and you can't end it. But I can picture them cowboy boots going into the leather there, or the suede. Dr. John, if you're on hold, stay on hold. You'll be on the air soon.
It's so much fun for an old guy, an old guy like me to watch all these lunatics on chat and thinking about where I was 50 years ago, ringing myself out just like they do. So
yeah, what did you used to do? Write a letter expressing your stress? like there was no chat. There was no chat. What did you do? Write down all your anxieties just to share them? Like the technology's changed on the anxiety.
No, I just took it out on my family.
Yeah.
At least these guys have an outlet.
The old school way, the kids, the wife, and the dog.
Oh my God. Well, I'm not too old to learn. I didn't know what that rat poison thing was.
Yeah,
so, that's another.
It was funny.
Something.
It was really funny when Saban was up there at the podium and they were talking about, and he says, "I'm too much rat poison with all you media." He's like, "I don't need you pumping my guys up. Like, leave them alone and let them get to business. Quit telling them they're that good." And he called it rat poison. And I'm just seeing it all over. But I understand it, Doc. Now is the time for positivity. Everybody's undefeated. Nobody's lost. Like, you could be hopeful now. But it's just a little, it just gets a little tiresome. But and I'm a part of the problem, I suppose. But it's just a little bit much. It's a big, huge year for everybody. It's just a matter of why.
Oh man, it's fun. It's fun. Well, my birthday party week is ending shortly. My grandkids are going to be put on an airplane back to Minneapolis. So I may have to dash off if I see them come out the door next door. But I'm just enjoying these guys on chat so much. You said Kent was at a tailgate party, wasn't he?
No, we're trying to get him to come to one. We're trying to get him to show up to one just so he could meet these characters in real life. And I guarantee everybody would be nice to him. I think most people would be nice to him. So I think he should make a trip to South Bend and hang out with Johnny Boy for a day.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Ohio State doesn't play that day, so what the heck? He should be in South Bend.
Yeah. So Doc, I don't know, man. I'm loving the energy build. You could feel it. Everybody's getting bought in. Everybody's getting excited. It is just, it's going to be a long run between now and Miami. There's only so many times, Doc, that you could go over the same narratives and question what we're going to get until you get the data. Nobody knows how this is going to go till you get the evidence.
One last thing, and that had to do with recruiting rankings. I think it was Singer, On3 bought Rivals or something, and a whole bunch of rankings changed.
Yeah, I saw that.
Did you see that?
I saw that.
What's the school?
It's really interesting. It looks like one guy created all of those like main recruiting sites and then is kind of like buying them all. buying them all up and then rebranding them or combining some of them or whatever. I don't understand how any of this works, Doc. I don't fully understand the equations. I don't know how when no football's played, certain guys are rising or falling to the extent that they are. I've always had a frustration with it. And maybe if I tried, I could understand the calculation more. But I don't get some of the equations of how there's no football games, but these guys are rising up the rankings or dropping, and it's a lot to follow. I don't fully understand how the industry calculates these things.
Yeah, I'm afraid that if I tried to understand it, my head would hurt. So, and my head hurts about other stuff, so I'm not going to take a chance.
Yeah, that's wise.
Anyway, Saturday night was great. Gosh, it was fun. I had that mob at my daughter's house, and they just enjoyed the whole thing. So I thank you for that. And with that, I'll bid you adieu and wish a great show.
Hey, glad you had a great birthday party. And it does mean a lot to me that but it means a lot to me that you took time to call, even when you guys had stuff going on. I really appreciated it. And everybody had fun thinking about you partying all night. It was good, man. Thanks for doing that.
Okay, John. Thank you for everything.
Oh, have a good one. Thank you for everything.
Great.
Sorry. Cut you off. That'll be the last time he calls. Oh, man. J Carr did make some new, we needed some updated bingo cards. He's got one for Goolsby. He's got one for me. I need to clean it up and print it out so I could use it on this show. Oh, man, it's good. People are asking that rumor. If you're on hold, you're going to be on the air. That rumor that Saban's coming back. And people are going, would you take him in South Bend if he said, I want to come to Notre Dame right now? Here's my question about this. Here's my question. Notre Dame does not operate like all these football machines, like power place machines, where the head coach is the emperor. And the head coach gets to do whatever they want. And whatever the head coach says happens tomorrow. Okay, whatever Saban wanted at Alabama happened tomorrow. You don't debate it. You don't go, I don't know if we could do that. You make it happen tomorrow. Notre Dame's never been like that, and it's never going to be like that. How would that even work? You get what I'm asking? Like, number one is it'd be real shady of Notre Dame to be like, yeah, Freeman, all this great stuff you're doing and all these results and how hard you're trying. Well, Saban's here kicking you to the curb, buddy. Like, I'm just saying Notre Dame doesn't operate like in LSU or like in Alabama or like a Texas or something or Georgia, where the head coach is the emperor and whatever they say happens. That wouldn't happen at Notre Dame. It wouldn't matter who it is, man. It doesn't matter. They told Frank Leahy, you're winning too much. Can you dial it down? We really don't want to be known as a football factory, and you're beating the hell out of everybody. Can you dial it back? Like that's stuff that happens in Notre Dame. You got to go through all these chains of command to get anything done in Notre Dame. That head coach doesn't just dictate everything. So I just don't see how that would ever work. He would not be willing to deal with a lot of the Notre Dame-iness. So that's like, I don't know, man. That's my thought on it. It's interesting. That Saban rumor came from McElroy, not Rory, not a real reporter like Pete Thamel or Feldman. He's been clickbait all summer. Yep. It's just interesting though, because when you put something out like that, what happens if you're totally dead wrong? Nothing and everybody moves on? Like, does anybody get held to account for any of their views they put out publicly if they don't happen or what? I don't know. It's interesting. Look at this. I think it's Tex ND, not a regular color. And I think J Carr coming up too. What's up, Tex?
What's up, Johnny? Can you hear me?
Yeah, or should I call you Carolina Irish instead of Texas?
Yeah, Tex ND was the old name. I was going to change the name, and then all of a sudden, I start to I'd have to get re-known here within the chat, and I don't know. I don't know if it's worth it. We'll have to figure out some new name or something like that. I don't want to make it too confusing for Mark.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. I like all your beach pictures, by the way. They relax me when I see you. When I see you there, it relaxes me. So I like your beach stuff a lot. What's on your mind with everything going on, man? The build up to Notre Dame season, people are getting more invested here. Like, where's your mind at? What are you focusing on?
Man, I think there's so much going on, right? But I think for this year, there's some big expectations for 2025, and we're following a great 2024 season. So, I'll say, and you say it a lot. I said it in the past. I remain cautiously optimistic. I do believe that Carr will end up being kind of what we've been waiting for, and that he'll hopefully deliver. I also believe that Marcus Freeman will eventually bring a natty to Notre Dame. Hopefully this year, but I think over the next 2 seasons is probably more likely. Just based on his recruiting and everything else. But we lost some great players last year, and I do think the difference with Marcus Freeman as opposed to Kelly is that with Kelly, when we lost great players, we were rebuilding. Under Freeman, it seems like we are reloading. And I think that's the way that we're going to continue to go. And we're going to reload better than we were in previous seasons. So I think we're looking good. I think there's a lot to be hopeful for. But again, cautiously optimistic is always the Notre Dame feeling for me,
Yeah, I feel like the way I'm looking at this is the overall biggest question. There are littler ones about the quarterback, the new defense, whatever. It is Notre Dame to the point where they can withstand some of these big changes and still be a competitive playoff team, even in a year where you're breaking in a first-time quarterback and you have a new DC and a tough early schedule compared to the later half? Can you overcome all that and prove we're going to be in this playoff every damn year? It's a big question.
I think what we've seen is we've seen like the thing I can't take away from Freeman is whatever he's replaced, whether it was Buckner with Pine, whether it was, when Golden came in, when it was Parker that was replaced with Denbrock, whether it was the new guy replacing Chad, everybody seems to have done better than their predecessor. And so if Freeman stays on that path, I think we're good. But that's been his MO so far. Like, I haven't seen him make many changes, and those changes haven't worked out. Whether somebody was hurt and they put somebody else in there, or it was a coach or a coordinator or a back office person, the decisions seem to have been better, being made better. And hopefully that just keeps going forward because it seems like it is.
Yeah, and the number one thing, I wrote an article about this a couple weeks ago. There was risk in the way that Freeman ended up going down the path of the recruiting operation. You could have tried to find a replacement Chad. Like, you could have made that a priority to find a replacement Chad, somebody who does things like him and try and do all that. But he didn't. And they ended up doing something really, really different, bringing a guy that wasn't even on the radar from the NFL to run that operation. And then you got a guy that's in his mid-20s that's doing the day-to-day stuff with Carter Allman. And it's just, there was risk in that. You could have ended up in a better place. It could have all fallen apart. And you got a guy in charge of it from the NFL, and he has trouble adjusting to the college game or whatever. But that's not what happened. He took a risk, went a different way, and it took a while to get going. But now you kind of feel like it's working out. They haven't lost a recruiting battle in a long time now. They're like their last 6 for 6 or something.
Yeah, and if you notice, Freeman's bringing in he's bringing in a younger group of individuals. He's certainly not going older and traditional. He's bringing in younger people that are kind of seeing where the game is going, and I think you can see that difference as well.
Yeah, they're doing a good job, and of course, I want to see, you got to be able to hold on to all these guys. And we don't know that till we know that or not. You got to prove that you're able to hold on to these guys and not lose them and all this stuff. You got to do that and then look for some cherries on top. But they're doing a really, really good job. And the reality is, once we get to this season, all the recruiting stuff kind of fades away a little bit. Like, not intentionally. It's just you have the games and it overshadows it until you get close to that official commit date.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about the recruiting. I do think we end up with a top 5 class. Well, hopefully we can keep it together. My biggest concern is O'Brien. He seems to be fairly like a fair weather kind of kid. Like every time he'd make a visit, he was then committed to that, or he was crystal balled, let's say, to that team. And so then it was Oregon, and then he went to Notre Dame. Now they're not going to stop recruiting him. Obviously we'll see what happens when we get the signing day. It looks like we keep him. Freeman's got a pretty good history of keeping his recruits, but I do think we end up top 5. I don't think we're a top 1, 2, or 3, but I do think we'll be top 5. And it's weird too, because that Rivals rating, I put it in the chat earlier, Rivals 5-star is top 12, whereas all other outlets are top 32. So there's some variation there as well.
Yeah, that's interesting. And so I don't know, man. All the recruiting thing, when you get down to like how they're calculating it, and I get that there's like summer camps and stuff, but I'll never fully understand how some guys rocket up the charts without any games being played. Some guys drop like a rock. Is it just if they go to these events and then how they do in the events? What if you don't go to those events? Then do you drop automatically? Like, I will never fully understand the new age recruiting calculation equation. I don't.
I think that tackle who jumped up like 1,000 spots just simply happened just because he's 6'8", 275, and you just do a standing backflip. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, and then it's just like whenever one of your guys rises, you're like, yeah, man, that makes perfect sense. And then when a guy drops, you're like, what are they doing? I hate it. Like, I don't know, man. It's just it's a lot to process. So I don't know. Can I ask you, what are your thoughts on the Miami game? Let's just get right to it here. What are you? I haven't really talked to you in depth about this. This far, 6 weeks out or whatever, how are you processing this? What's on your mind?
Just based on Freeman era, I'm more concerned about MAC teams at home, but he usually gets everybody ready for big games. He plays pretty good away. I think they tend to need more warm up time at home, or it seems like that. So I think we're too good. I think it's going to be a tough game. I think it's going to be one of those games where it's going to be tight right up until the fourth quarter, and then I think we will end up going to be pulling away. There's just too much talent on our team. I think that a lot of people talk about Miami, and I think Miami has a ton of talent. They always do. Huge brand, big name. But it's also another, heavy portal team. And I haven't seen many heavy portal teams that have done really, really well. I mean, everybody said last year that Florida State got all these great players. They were going to be so good. And they were absolutely terrible. And Miami also, Cam Ward was, without Cam Ward last year, they're a 500 team. So
yeah,
we'll see how good the supporting cast is. But overall, I think they're going to do pretty good. I think it's going to be a typical, heart wrenching, super nervous, Pepto-Bismol, as you were saying before, kind of Notre Dame typical game up until like the fourth quarter, and then I think we're going to hopefully pull away. Freeman tends to be like that, a second half kind of that. I love that. What is it? The last four or the last two of the first half and the first 2 minutes of the second half.
Yeah,
where they really kind of prioritize that, and they do really well with it. I think we're going to pull it out. I really do. I'm more concerned about A&M than I am with Miami.
Now, what about the new quarterback? That is a moving piece here. Do you have any concerns about that guy starting his career in these two environments? Or do you have confidence they'll ease him in and he'll look like he belongs and it's going to go like decently? Like, it's a huge moving factor to win in those first two games, how that young guy operates.
I think Carr seems like he's pretty cool, like cool as a cucumber. And I think that you just kind of have to, if something bad happens, you just got to brush it off. They say you got to have a real short memory to play football. It looks like Carr's kind of like that. And I think he's going to do good. I think Carr's going to be hopefully what we've been waiting for. We need somebody to push the ball downfield. I loved Riley Leonard, just his personality, his drive, his game-winning ability. But Denbrock said specifically after the NIU game that they had to cater the offense to what Riley was comfortable with. And you saw that expand as the season went on. But he clearly either didn't have the tools coming in or was the break of not being in spring and being hurt and all the surgeries. But it certainly affected him. And he wasn't everything we needed him to be, but he progressed. And I think, Carr being in the second year of that system is going to be, I think Carr's going to be good. I think it's Carr. Some people say Minchie. We'll see how that goes. I do believe that Minchie fits the Denbrock offensive style better than Carr does, just because he's the running quarterback. He's more like Kaiser was almost back in the day, and Kaiser obviously did pretty well under Denbrock as well. But again, you saw the year-over-year lack of progression in quarterbacks when Kelly was here, even though Denbrock was there as well.
Yeah, and here's the one thing. Whoever this quarterback is, I'm hoping and I'm confident they don't have the anxiety I do around this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to be an absolute nervous wreck on behalf of whoever this, you know what I'm talking about. It's Miami. We just kicked the game off. The season's underway. It's loud as hell in there. You know what we're all going to be thinking with the first time that guy lines up behind center to take a snap, and everybody's going to be so anxious. I hope to God these guys are just, it doesn't get to them the way it gets to me. I'll tell you that right now. I'm going to be a nervous wreck on their behalf.
Well, we could always put little Miami Hurricane insignias on all the hitting bags, and we could put 1-0 all over our locker room, just like Kelly did, right?
It's just a swirling cloud, like that circle cloud with the donut hole in the middle of it, and you got a hit right in the middle of it. Yeah. Hey, whatever it takes to motivate your crew, I guess, huh?
Yeah. I got a few things. I just want to give you some low IQ shout outs and opinions, and then I'll let you go, John. But I do want to give you a little bit of credit for a few things. So I've had the ability to come to 2 tailgates. Hopefully I come to Purdue this year. I'd love to bring the wife and the kids. I don't know if you had, but did you guys make any plans for Friday night prior to the Purdue game?
I'm still trying to figure all that out. I don't know whether this is one where I'm going to be in town all weekend or if we just come in early before the sun comes up Saturday. I'm not sure yet. I'm still working on the details.
Well, I've been to 2. I know you'll let us know, but as I said many times in the past, I'm super appreciative of the tailgates and being able to meet just so many of the AI family in person, whether it's those in the chat and especially your family. Everybody's so welcoming. Certainly enjoyed hanging out with Andrew the night before the tailgate. Your mom, Jill, your dad. You guys really do make everybody feel like part of the family, part of the Always Irish family, the Kennedy family, and getting to spend time with like the Sly Foxes, Mark, Ryan, Tony, Goolsby's. It was just awesome. It really does kind of solidify the community.
I appreciate that, man. And it does mean the world to me that everybody's getting to know everybody and that the family's involved too. I like that like people know my mom and my dad and my brother now, and they have relationships with a lot of these people now. It's a beautiful thing, man. It's the internet when it's at its best. A whole bunch of people with a common love for something, all meeting through that and all kind of feeling welcome at the same time. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, well, I've told you this before. Like you have reduced my overall angst when it comes to Notre Dame, and I've been able to meet so many like-minded and passionate Notre Dame fans through you, and certainly appreciate you making connections between listeners and chatters, callers, which obviously no one else does, and I think that's why you have the following and really kind of the really close knit and I would say loyal following that you do. But I've been able to meet so many and meet others through those connections. And just to give you a few examples, but like, let's say like Sly Fox, met him through the show and his wife, super fantastic. They sent me 3 blue and gold tickets for me and 2 of the friends that were going to the tailgate because they wanted to make sure they were used and sent it to me while he was at the airport. Like super great guy, right? You got Texas Chris, who's always in the chat. I was not able to go to the Indiana game last year, and man, did I like have like just hindsight 2020 remorse, right? But Texas Chris asked me, he goes, "Do you have one of those yellow towels?" And I said, "No." Man, he put one in the mail and sent me one of those yellow Indiana playoff towels, which I have actually hanging up. And then let's say like Beefeater, who's also in the chat quite a bit, great guy. He actually lives here, not far from me. We hooked up through your show, and when I moved here, he came here and had like a Notre Dame swag welcome package for me when we first moved into North Carolina and met myself and my son, and we've kept in touch. So just, the community is so tight. It really is just a really big deal. And I've been able to grow as a fan, not just of Always Irish, but as Notre Dame because of it. So man, I appreciate that.
I appreciate it too, man. That is my favorite part of doing all this, is bringing all these people together that are all friends now. It's really a beautiful thing. And I didn't know how any of this was going to go, but Pat was the one that was like, we need to start doing tailgates. I bet you could get a surprisingly good group of people. And every one of them's built. More people meet. The known names people meet. Now they know each other. Then we welcome new people in. Man, it's a beautiful social experiment. I love the fact that everybody's my real life friends now. It's cool. It's unique.
Well, and I think the last thing, and I'll leave, or if you have any other questions or anything like that, but the show itself, and I'll say this, I tell people about your show all the time, and the Always Irish show, it's really the only show that I know of, certainly within Notre Dame circles, where the callers, the chatters, really kind of everybody has become part of the show itself. Like, it's not just you, John, which is obviously you're the one bringing everybody together, but you got people like Dr. John and Tom Frawley, Andrew, and Mark with glasses, and just so many more, as well as some trolls, and even the lightning rod that is here today, WPP, but it's amazing how all of them, whether it's like Angela and everybody, have really become part of the show. And if you're listening to, I won't name other shows, but if you listen to a lot of other Notre Dame shows, there's not many that have become actually part of the show, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense, man. It does. And listen, man, Notre Dame fans deserve a voice, and to be heard, and to be able to vent, and to be able to celebrate and be depressed. Like, you guys we deserve a voice, man. This is a big deal to all of us. So I'm happy to be the conduit to that. And I feel grateful to be in the position to be able to connect everybody in this way. Thanks for the kind words.
Oh, man, I appreciate you taking the time to listen and taking some of my angst. And I'll just say to everybody that's in the chat and listening, whether it's being recorded back, but man, if you get a chance to go to a tailgate, do it. It is so worth it. And man, I one of my friends that I brought, it was their first time visiting Notre Dame. And when we got up into the stadium, he kind of looked out, and it kind of reminded me of, the movie Rudy, where Rudy's dad is kind of looking over the field, and he looked at it. He goes, man, I can't believe I'm here right now. And so it was a big deal, and it was a great thing to see. And so if anybody has that the ability to go, because being able to hang out with John and everybody that's part of the Always Irish show, man, it just makes it so much better. It makes the whole process real a quality experience.
You know what I think about? Thanks for all this, by the way. But here's the way I look at it. Before Always Irish was a thing, we used to just drive to the white lot, drink a couple beers, have a black and mild in the parking lot in a field, and then walk to the game, just our group, and go to the game, and then go home, whatever. I like the fact that the tailgates give people a home base. It gives people coming into town that don't have a big tailgate set up already, or don't know a lot of people in town. They're not from South Bend or Chicago even. Like, I love the fact that it gives people a home base, so they're not wandering around alone, but that they're with a group of people they're kind of comfortable with and have a home base. I love that. I wish I would have had that 20 years ago, but I didn't. Like, it to be able to provide that's a big deal to me. I like that.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it made the two guys that I went with had one guy had seen a Notre Dame game, but it was at versus Penn State, 10, 12 years ago. And then my other friend, like I said, he had never been there before. And so I said, hey, listen, I know a few people there. There's going to be a tailgate. Let's go. Like, it'll be a real good, easygoing time to go see your first time over at Notre Dame. Because it can be overwhelming. You want to kind of go see everything. You want to see the grotto. You want to see the Golden Dome. You want to visit a bunch of different places. And of course, like you said, having that home base, we'd always come back. And I'm still mad that I missed Ryan Roll and Mark with Glasses' foot race. I did see the video, but I missed it live.
Yeah. It's a blur on the film for sure. Yeah, just speed racers. It's a blur on the film for sure. Hey, man, I really appreciate the call. I'm glad I was able to connect you with some people in the new state and whatever. And I really appreciate your loyal dedication to the show. I really do. Thank you.
John, I appreciate you, man. We all do. Have a great day, and we'll talk again soon. Thank you so much, sir.
Oh, have a good one. Man, what a nice guy. What a nice guy. You know how I know he's a nice guy? Because my mom said, you know who's a nice guy I met at the tailgate and talked to all day? Tex ND. What a lovely guy. You got to believe my mom's a good judge of that character. $20 holler from Pilney. I'm on a high pucker here as an old ND fan. This Miami game down in Florida is going to expose scar tissue in the fan base with a lot of bad memories of ND playing at the U in Florida. I hope I'm wrong here. Look at this. Backing it up. The last time ND beat Miami in Florida, Joe Montana was our QB, and it was the title year, 77. That's a good omen. Here's what's got to give you confidence with this. A couple different things. Number one is, this is not Brian Kelly motivational tactics preparing the team to go play at Miami like it was in 17. And the game was lost before the ball even got kicked off. Notre Dame was not prepared for the moment. They were intimidated, literally getting off the bus. Oh my God, somebody threw a liquor bottle at the bus when they were driving and it broke. And then the whole team cried and then we lost because we were scared. Give me a break, bro. I remember hearing that story. I'm like, why were they so scared to play this game? It's like, I heard a liquor bottle broke. Somebody threw it at the bus. Oh my God. I'm too scared to get out and play now. It's the weakest thing I've ever heard, that story. People were bringing it up to me like it justified why everybody was scared because some drunk threw a liquor bottle at the bus. This ain't that. This ain't that. So get that out of your mind, that whole 2017 thing. And then Notre Dame did get a win in that building, but it just wasn't against Miami. And it does annoy me, though. It does annoy me now that no one goes to those games, but for this one, the place is going to be full. It really bothers me. The fair weather nature of all that. Literally, no one goes to their home games. Notre Dame's going to be there. It'll sell out, and they're all going to act like they care the whole time. It's really annoying. And I don't respect the fair weather nature of that kind of thing. Same thing, not the same thing, but similar with USC, where if it's the Bush Push and it's the Hollywood place to be, that place is full. Like, I mean, the Bush Push era, obviously that was at our place, but you know what I mean? Like when it's the hot thing to do in LA, all the celebrities and everybody wants to go to the Coliseum. And then if they're not good, it's just, we'll go to the beach. It's just so fair weather, man. It's just so fair weather. Man, it's just, Kent, it's really, really easy for you to say that when it's not your team. You guys complain about not being able to beat Michigan and the pressure on Ryan Day, whatever. It's really easy for a fan of another team to be like, Brian Kelly won a lot of games for you guys. You should just be happy and take it, even though he lost every single big game that he played in. You should get over that. It's really easy for fans of another team to say that. If it was your team, Kent, and Ohio State was losing all of the biggest games they play in and getting blown out in them, you would not say the same thing. You're just saying that because it isn't your team and it doesn't affect your emotions. If Ryan Day was losing all the big games and getting embarrassed in them, you would not be saying the things you're saying right now about Notre Dame. It's just easy for you to say because it's not your team. Okay? John was born to be a Northwestern fan. I told you guys when I lived up there, I did not fit in. When I lived right across from Northwestern Stadium, I did not fit in. I was a stranger, man. I was an outlier. I was so like out of my comfort zone. And I don't have the brains or the money to be blended in with them Evanston Northwestern people. I don't, even at the bars and a social thing, I just don't have it. I'm not smart enough. I admit it. Not smart enough to hang out with these people. It's a different world those people live in. They're all smart and they're all rich. And half of them are foreign. I couldn't talk to half of them then for that reason. But I just couldn't relate. And I was too much of like a regular dummy to be interacting with these intellectuals. I don't know. Maybe I'm giving them too much credit. Jay Carr's coming up. Everybody else, if you're on hold, you're going to be on the air. That's for darn sure. This is a fair question. This is a really fair question. I got a good answer. Yeah, that's a really good point. John doesn't relate to towns that have more to do than just sports. That's such a good point. That's probably not even a lie. It's probably not even a lie. John, are you sure have a hard on over Brian Kelly and LSU? What happens if Kelly's 1-0 and Freeman is 0-1? Here's what happens. I own it, and I'm miserable, and I just have to deal with it. Like, I don't know what answer you're expecting me to say, but all I'm saying is, if that happens, I got to own it and eat it, and I'm going to get trolled, and I'm going to be miserable, and I'm going to be furious, and my blood pressure is going to shoot through the roof, and I'm going to be pissed off, and I just have to sit here and take it like a good boy. That's it. Like, I don't know what the answer is other than this. You sit there and you own it, and you take it, and you let the pain cut deep. You let the pain cut deep, and you sit there pissed off, and you get trolled. That's what happens. That's what happens. So I don't know. It's Andrew. Here's the interesting thing about this. Saying ND beat A&M in the road. Freeman's a better road coach than Kelly. You know, they ended up finishing 8th in the SEC. Here's my point on this. And then Jay Carr, we'll get to you. Here's my point on this. Some of this is really hard when you look at a schedule and who you play. Right? Some games are built up huge with both fan base being in it to win it and thinking they're playoff teams early in the year, whatever, and you play them. And then later you figure out A&M finish eighth in the SEC. That doesn't look like they had a good year, whatever. But when you were playing Notre Dame game 1, like that, the intensity of that moment wasn't 8th place in the SEC intensity. Right? Like you... How am I trying to say this? It's very hard to look at the final result and then apply it to the vibes when we played them, which were not 8th place in the SEC results. Do you get what I mean? Like if a team had 4 losses and then you play them, that's a different setup than the first game at their place and all this excitement and everything. Does that make sense? I don't know if that makes sense, but it's like they finished 8th in the SEC, but it didn't feel that way when you played them game 1. It's not like you knew that and then that their fan base was down and out because they're going to finish 8th in the SEC. You didn't know that when you played them. So I don't know. Yeah, the Louisville one, Andrew, that's fair. I don't know what that was about, but that was fair. They ended up getting caught up to where it looked respectable more on paper than what it was. You got the hell beat out of you. You literally got the hell beat out of you. And they ended up making it look close on the box score. It wasn't that close to me in practicality. So that's fair. The one thing that doesn't happen now is Notre Dame doesn't get blown out. And I know that's a low, humiliating, embarrassing bar. But if you really want to look at it, at least they don't get blown out in any of these games. There is no game where they play now and you go, they just can't compete. You may lose or embarrass yourself for other reasons, but there are no more of these Notre Dame doesn't belong on that field and you're getting blown out by 30. There is none of that. It's a low bar. I'm not saying that should be the bar, but it is a fact. Jay Carr, what up?
Morning, John. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
I haven't called in a while, so I figured I'd give you a call. I don't know. I don't really have a ton to say. I was hoping you could maybe spark the conversation.
Well, here's number one. Yeah, sorry, man. I'm not very good at that. I can never find anything to talk about. I'm not very good at coming up with random stuff to say when it comes to college football. I'll see what I could do, though. I'll try and hone that skill set. Number one is, I did check that email, and I looked at the the bingo and the Goolsby Patreon bingo. That's really high quality stuff. So I'm gonna have to print that out, and we'll get it in the rotation. Let's start there.
Yeah, I DM'd it to him, and he's just like, "Damn it, it's funny because it's true."
Yeah, it's so good.
He enjoyed it.
Yeah,
So
it's so good.
I'm
And
working on yours.
it just took a while for you to be able to fill up all the boxes with him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's not he's not on as much, so he doesn't repeat the same things as much as you do. So it took a little longer to do, but yeah, I got version 3 work cooking for you. Ramp to camp is going to be the first square. So
oh, that's a good
if anyone
one.
else has any suggestions, throw it in the chat now, and I'll read through it while I'm working on it.
Yeah, that's it. It's a good one, man. I know how deep you're into all this. You're on all the Patreon stuff. You follow this stuff very, very closely. Where's your mentality and emotions at in the ramp to camp, considering all of the upside here in Notre Dame land, some of the worries in Notre Dame land, the early schedule of Notre Dame? Like, where are you at with all this? What is your level right now?
I'm relatively confident. I would say my biggest worry is the pass protection, which is why I'm a big Will Black, the left tackle fan. I personally would like to see Matt play guard because he's such a bulldozer in the run game, and Will Black is such a pass protection type left tackle that's kind of like the prototype. You got to have pass protecting tackles and ground moving, people moving guards to be able to run the ball. Especially if we're going to have a quarterback that sits in the pocket and throws the ball. We relatively saw something similar with Hartman. We had better tackles, but less talented receivers, and he still struggled in pass pro because the middle sucked so much.
So what? Okay, what do you think?
Would just get up the middle and sack them.
What do you think the odds are that Will Black ends up starting at tackle and then you bump Knapp inside to guard to be able to fill that need? What do you think the odds are of that happening? I am not sure whether that is wishful thinking. You got a big body guy that seems ready to play, has terrific footwork. Like Goolsby looks at the film on Patreon, he has terrific footwork, can play now. Like you get the number one guy rated in your recruiting class for a reason. Is that just like us thinking that, or is there a reality he really does start? Or are we getting way out of ourselves? And with offensive line, you don't want to do that. You're not going to do that week 1, whatever it is. I don't know.
One, I think he's too physically gifted. He's too big. He's too fast. He's too strong. His arms are long. He's like 6'8", 315. Football is one of those games where if you're just more physically dominant than the other player, odds are you're just better because you can just move people. I do actually think he's a very good player, just taking away his physical abilities. I do think he's a very good pass protector. Does he start at Miami? I don't know. But does he start at some point throughout the season? I would bet yes.
Yeah, I don't know, man. And here's the thing. I've seen in the chat, and I agree, people are saying, man, it would really be nice if he could have a redshirt year to settle in and get situated and all that. Like, that would be an ideal start for an offensive lineman in his first year and all this. I totally agree with that, but you just may not have that luxury, right? Like, in a perfect world, if you have Joe Alt out there, then you don't feel the pressure to play this guy there. You know what I mean? So it's like, I get that in an ideal world, you would want that guy to be able to grow and not have the pressure on him right away and ease into this. You simply may not have that luxury this year is all I'm saying. And the other thing is, man, we've been having averaging an O-line injury here in camp. Like you don't know what's going to happen for that month in camp either. Like, that's where Jagasaw got hurt last year, was in camp. So you don't know. You don't know, but you may just not have the luxury, man. And if you believe in the guy as a talent and a 5-star and the highest rated guy in that recruiting class or whatever, you may just have to go, hey, young kid, let's see what you got. You might just not have the luxury not to.
Yeah, I mean, I go back to that point I made 2 weeks ago. Everybody loved him 8 months ago when he committed. Oh, we got the best tackle in the country. He's huge. He's so athletic. Look at him run.
But we're scared to play him. But we don't want to play. I don't want to. I'm scared to play him.
40, yeah, but the place at the table. Oh no, we're scared. We don't want to play our top offensive tackle 5-star player. I mean, when you're a big boy, I know it's offensive line and it's slightly different, but when you get these high-end elite 5-star players, you got to play them. You find a way to play them. He's probably going to be a 3-and-out player. He's just too athletically gifted and to not be, unless injury, puts him back.
All right, here we go. Andrew's going to push back. So, caller, you want to put a true freshman.
You don't have to read it. I can see it. I'm reading it.
Gotcha.
My pushback would be Anthony Knapp isn't a left tackle. And if Anthony Knapp can play left tackle and survive against that A&M defensive line, I think Will Black is bigger, faster, stronger, and a better pass protector can survive against Miami. That would be my pushback.
Yeah.
You can't have Anthony Knapp tackle for 4 years and have Will Black sit on the bench for 3 years. It's just, you can't do that. He's too good.
Yeah, it's going to be.
And then you're going to.
I don't know, man. It's going to be interesting. So you're going to have to trust Rudolph, and they'll have to see where everybody's at. I think there's risk, and I don't know, man. It's just, and then I don't know how this is all going to shake out, but you don't have a lot of time to figure it out. When you get to camp and you're going to be moving guys around and they're going to try these different offensive lineups or whatever, how long do you realistically have before you got to kind of come to your number one line, announce your number one quarterback, and get a couple of weeks of all those guys working together heading into Miami? Like, the project can't go on forever. So what do you think? A week and a half into camp, and you're going to have to start figuring out what that line's going to look like and who the quarterback is. You got to give those guys some time together leading into Miami. So these experiments are going to go pretty quick. Same thing with that quarterback deal. They have to.
I mean, yeah, they're going to shuffle them around and relatively, quickly like they did last year. It seemed like every time there was a practice clip, people were at different positions. He's going to get a chance. You can't just say he's not going to play. He's at least going to get a chance. And talent wins out. So if he looks better, he's going to play. And that's not my decision, coach's decision, but he's going to get a chance to show what he is at this point.
Yeah, it's man, they got a lot to figure out. The good news is, I guess they've had plenty of time to process all this and at least have an idea of what they might want to do or who they think could do what. And then what about the Notre Dame defense? It's the last thing I have for you is the Ash experiment here. There's going to be some changes, more zone, different. I like the talent, but are you anxious with this transition, and how long is it going to take to get everybody on the same page when you need that games 1 and 2? Like, what are you thinking the reality is going to be with the Ash defense? He knows his mission. Don't mess up a good thing. He even admitted that at the podium when he got hired. He's like, listen, I know where this defense has been, and I don't want to wreck it. Are you anxious about that? Until I see it's good enough, I am.
Yeah, I don't think as much as you are. Again, they have the talent on defense is very good, where it's almost like you have to intentionally call bad plays to screw it up. Our players are just better than the other team's offensive players. My only concern would probably be obviously a defensive tackle. Like I don't think we're big. We're not big enough, I don't think. I like Rubio. He's big enough, but Dawson is, I think he's under 300 and he's like my height at like 6'1". So I don't think we have the size at D tackle. Hopefully, playing more of a zone scheme where the linebackers, fill downhill can help with that. But that would be my number one concern is just interior defensive line, which it was a concern last year, and they kind of got by against Georgia and Penn State again. I think Penn State screwed up. If they were running the ball all game, I think they beat us. I think they screwed up. But I think that's our biggest weakness is if teams can just run it down our throat.
That's fair. That is something fair. Let me bring up this part of it too. I've been thinking about this, and I forget whether we mentioned this on Patreon or not. The adjustments. Al Golden was really, really good with adjustments. Like if Notre Dame gave up some stuff early in the game that made you uncomfortable and whatever, they would tighten it up. Coming out of the half, they seemed to tighten up. Like Al was really good at setting something up, seeing how the other team wanted to attack us, and then adjusting quickly to be able to stop it. I wonder about that part of it. Like, is Ash going to be able to do that part of it? Where you adjust that way. That's a big deal because Al did a really good job at it. The first couple drives, we give up some things you don't like, and then he tightens it up. Coming out of the half, tightens it up. Are you going to still get that? Like, that's a big deal.
Yeah, that's kind of like the big unknown. He's supposed to call a lot of zone, so I wonder if, early in the game you start playing like cover 3 and cover 2 and just kind of, you give up the underneath stuff just to kind of see like what they want to do. Because when you play man, it's more of like it can be kind of a boom or bust play. Like it just takes one receiver to win, and it could be, like a 50-yard gain or something like that. But when you're playing zone, you're kind of allowing them to make those underneath throws and seeing, how they want to attack a defense. But if he starts out like that and kind of, maybe he gets a little more. You get a little more data. They call a little more plays, and it takes them farther or longer to score, or like move the ball down the field. You kind of get more data to see like what they actually want to do, and then from there, can he figure it out and make an adjustment?
Yeah, and listen, I can see a scenario where the new defense a little more freedom to like react over than rather than analyze, and like just use your natural skills, crash downhill in the run game, not as much thinking, more reacting. Like I can see a scenario where that defense is as good or better than it was last year. I could definitely see that. I'm not entering this on the negative side. I'm entering it on the neutral side, saying don't count your chickens when you didn't know the farmer that hatched them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Which the one thing I am kind of interested to see how they do compared to last year and the year before, I would say, is how many turnovers they get, more specifically interceptions. Because a lot of their interceptions, they were just playing cover 1, and it was, Watts in the back or Schuler in the back, and they would get a pick, or, it would be a jump ball on the outside, and, Gray or Moore would get a pick. It was never really those, 10-yard in the middle of the field, like a linebacker would get an interception. Those, we didn't see those. So I'm really interested to see if we see that with, Bowen, KVA, Snead, and all them. I want to see if they can, sit right around the first down marker, and if they can just kind of sit there and get an interception or two.
Yeah, it'll be, and they got a lot of long, lanky guys that cover a lot of ground. Like I could see a zone where there's just arms everywhere because they're so long and athletic in the back end, and want to become even more so. So there's a lot to watch. It's just high intrigue, high stress. Welcome to Notre Dame football, Jay Carr. We're back, baby.
Yeah. I'll end kind of off of what TX said. Jay Carr Sr. took his summer trip up to Chicago from Texas. He drove up there. He's up there for like 11 days, getting all the goods you can't get down here. Like the Italian beef and the he's going to the Italian store.
Grab some Garrett's popcorn for the ride back. All the Chicago-ish stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's actually meeting Phil at Barnaby's. Going to Notre Dame. Today's his Notre Dame day. He's going there, so hopefully I'll get some, T-shirts and whatnot.
Barnaby's is the spot, baby. I love that pizza over there at Barnaby's, man. Let's do it again. That's where I hold court in the back. I want to do it again. I love that place.
Yeah, so just kind of that sentiment that TX was talking about. When we went to the Indiana game and we went to the tailgate, my dad didn't know. He didn't know what he was walking into. He just was blindly following me. And, I introduced him to you and Phil and, Cotter, Adam, and everybody. And, him and Phil really hit it off. And they, text often, and they're becoming friends. So they're going to Barnaby's tonight, all because of me going to introduce myself to you guys.
Yeah, man. And I do want to apologize. Tom, Chicago's very own's on the line. Coming up next, Tom, I'll get you. I know you got a busy day ahead of you. I apologize. I was not myself for the Indiana game. Like, it was not an official tailgate. I was putting on too big of a moment. There's a reason I pick lower level games for the tailgate, because I need to be relaxed enough to have fun and entertain people. And I was not in a good place before that Indiana game. I was not like being friendly. I was not being my typical self. It was pace around the parking lot angrily all night in the cold. I'm sorry. I apologize. It was just I was wound tight.
Yeah, I could tell. I got eyeballs.
Man, it was just one of those moments. It was one of those moments, man. But I got to tell you, man, I appreciate you. You're always at everything I do. You're on the Patreon. You're here engaging every day, dude. It means the world to me.
You're welcome. I'll try to give you a call at least one more time before Miami. I don't call very often, so.
Well, hit me up. Maybe when we get into camp or something, hit me up, man. Stuff's going to be happening.
Maybe if we get some more Will Black at left tackle news, I'll call him.
There you go. Save the number.
Call.
Program it as your emergency contact. Thanks a lot, J-Car. And thanks for the bingo cards. They're hilarious.
You're welcome.
Have a good one. Oh, what a nice guy. Nice people. Nice people, for sure. Barnaby's, I'm telling you, dude, I think it's something with the crust. I can't identify what it is. There's something with the crust, man, at that Barnaby. It's so crispy. And like what they put it on as like, it's not air bubbles, but it's like made to let air filter underneath what they're putting it on. There's something with it. It's super crispy, bro. It's super crispy. I love that place. That's for damn sure. I do. I got a beef with Portillo's. Literally, I have a beef with Portillo's. You see what I did there? Bro, the last 2 Portillo's Italian beefs I've gotten, I swear to God, they're half the size they used to be. I swear that it's bothering me. I got one like a couple months ago. And I'm like, bro, did I get the mini kids version of this or what? Why is the bun so small? There ain't a bunch of beef hanging out the side, so to speak. It was tiny. And then I go to a different location a couple weeks ago and it's small again. I ain't paying less. But I'm telling you, dude, that beef wrapped up in that paper, whatever, is half the size it used to be. And all the beef's like in it. It ain't even hanging out. It's bothering me. But I don't see the price going down. I thought I ordered it off a kid's menu. Anyways, I'm just saying, I ain't a dummy, and I know the size of this stuff. And it's getting smaller every time I go. Don't appreciate it. Chicago's very own Tom Frawley.
Wow. Sorry for my tardiness. Tom Frawley reporting for duty, sir. Boy, I could talk book, chapter, and verse about Dick Portillo's empire and the Portillo restaurants. As you know, I call on that industry, right? The hospitality industry, especially restaurants and bars. And my goodness, you are not wrong. When he sold that for, oh God, tens of millions of dollars to that restaurant group in Boston, that they McDonald's did, so everything's processed. Yeah, no. If you're anywhere in the Chicago area and you don't go to a real Italian beef stand, you're missing it. Just like some of the callers or some of the comments today are phenomenal. It's getting hard to miss this show. I'll tell you, Andrew Gilmore and Jay Carr, there's a little debate. I fall somewhere in the middle between the offensive linemen. Geez, I tell you, Jay Carr, brother, great call. That kid is smart. I like his take, but there's always Andrew to kind of, dampen you and bring you back in and say, hey, wait a second, this is the micro version. This is the macro version.
Yeah, it's healthy. It's healthy. I like having both sides of that like that. It's healthy.
I do too. I mean, it's like what Lou Holtz used to say. There's always, whether he used to say something like, whatever is happening, whatever extreme you're on, as good as it seems, as bad as it seems, somewhere in the middle lies the reality. Well, there's the reality between their beef, right? And I agree with it. These guys know the personnel on Notre Dame. I would rather listen to these guys than the national pundits. And I mean that. I mean, you listen to a guy like McElroy was the only consistently good prognosticator on Notre Dame last year, especially as the team season got deeper. And I think our boy Kirk Herbstreit kind of woke up to Notre Dame last year and gave us a little bit of love, and even into the playoffs. But Jay Carr makes a great point about that Penn State game, the playoff game. Had they kept running the ball, they win that ball game. And I don't know what. And I'm glad there's a brain fart in that Franklin's head. But yeah, they got to toughen up that defensive line. I think I could be wrong, but I'd have to ask Goolsby or somebody else closer to the program. Are they plugging guys in that might be waiting in the offensive line? Do you find the most athletic defensive lineman that could play in the interior defensive line? Parsegian did that at will. Holtz used to do that. Even Dan Devine did that. There's something to it. When you read Parsegian's book, a lot of his books, he talked about filling in the defensive line at first over quarterback, running back, defensive back. It all starts at the defensive line. I think we're close.
Yeah, it's man, and I'm wondering too how much we're going to be able to learn when camp starts. You're going to start getting the reports of who's trying out for this spot, who's moving over here, who's moving over there. Like, I'm interested to see what the staff is thinking of where this is all starting from. And you're going to learn early. They'll do those little things where they go, here was the number 1 O-line and the number 1 QB for this part of practice. Like, I'm interested to see when we get this going, where the staff is thinking as far as what they're even trying and who's doing what. And it's going to be really interesting because these are big decisions and you got to get everybody lined up right to the maximal position if you want to go beat Miami. So they got some tinkering to do here to figure out all these roles.
I just think, somewhere in between what Andrew Gilmore was talking about and what Jay Carr was talking about, I like the argument because what's there is what you said. They're long and talented, and they're big and talented. And to have that in 3 depths, I make an analogy to that. When the Blackhawks went on their run of winning 3 cups in 6 years, what did they have? They had 4 lines. They were rolling 4 lines. Well, Notre Dame has the enviable position of being able to substitute, keep fresh legs. Ah, man, that's the mother lode right there. And that's what the recruiting has done. So you see that upgrade in the recruiting. Now, I'm not going to get into the, the minutia of, is this kid, where's Knapp going to play? Man, that kid, wow. And look, you see what he did at tackle, and he was out of position. Now, I'm going to throw this out there. That kid is mean, and he is so physical. If, in fact, that offensive line talent is, would they consider, and I know it's a long shot, putting him on the defensive side of the ball? He's talented.
That's interesting. That's really, really interesting.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it is. I don't
think they do it. But
yeah.
If they, I don't think they do that. But if you've got a kid that's, in that ballpark, talent-wise, and if you've got a mean, nasty offensive lineman, that's the extra, that's the secret sauce that you need. But if you're kind of short on the interior lineman, it's probably a good thing to look and say, hey, because they played both ways all the way through their development, playing Pee Wee football, Pop Warner, or high school football.
Yeah,
so these kids know what they're doing. They're strong. I think Knapp, a guy like Knapp, he's got great feet. God, does he have good feet? And or you move him to the guard position. How'd you like to see him pulling out?
Yeah, and you know what I
and
got to
chop it down
remind
in a line.
myself, Tom? I got to remind myself of this all the time. I actually have a Patreon video coming out, I believe, tomorrow about this. I got to remind myself that the staff has a better feel for all of these guys and what they're capable of and what their physical limits
Yep.
are and all that way better than we do. And sometimes I get lost in that because I sit there at night and worry about the core, what level the quarterback's starting from and all this stuff. This staff is really good, and I think they deserve some trust that they know better than we are who's capable of what and how much they could put on their plate and where they could do it or not. Unlike some previous recent regimes, I feel like there is a little
That's right.
I feel like there is a little trust factor there where you kind of can say I trust their judgment on this stuff, but you haven't always been able to say that. You can't always just defer to the coach and know that they know what's going on. We haven't always had that here in the last 30 years, but that helps me a little bit. There is a little bit of trust there.
Without a doubt. And if you here, look, I'm not. I hate opening up that can of beans about especially the previous, most recent regime.
Yeah.
Look, you got a guy like Nick Dean was talking earlier in the chat. He brought it up. He said, "I think that Ash might be a one-off, a one-year coach." And Mike Mickens gets the D coordinator slot next year, if in fact he doesn't go get a big coaching position in college or goes up to the NFL.
Yeah.
So his recruiting ability, those kids love to play for Mickens. Look what he's done. I mean, my goodness. So there's a wealth of riches, right? And what do you do with the gold? What do you do with the gold under the Golden Dome is the question, because they've got the gold now.
Man, I
do
like
we
it.
Add a little more. You know what I'm saying? Do we add some Bitcoin to it? And
I like it.
Finance some things on the future because it looks like they are, as far as the sponsorship. So whatever alumni or benefactor, they have the name in front of the coaches. You notice that right now?
Yeah.
So. Whatever. I can't remember the guys, the benefactors' names, but John Kennedy's.
The Dick. What is it? The Dick Corbett. It's the Dick Corbett Notre Dame head coach. That's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. And okay. And I get that. And that's so Notre Dame, right? For them to come up with that, because you know what? They're advertising that to the world and say, listen. Okay, we're in the new era of the NIL and the transfer portal. So guess what we're going to do? We're going to play cards on the top of the table, lads, and we're going to put all our chips in the middle of the table. No balls, no babies. This is who we are, and if you don't like it, go fly a kite.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about it.
Tom, can I tell you what I'm excited for?
Yeah.
My reverence for the history of Notre Dame and all of those eras and all.
Absolutely.
Sometimes literally era with the eras, whatever over time. I am enjoying the buildup into the season with people like you and my dad and Dr. John, guys like you that have more experience with the Notre Dame-Miami rivalry. And it always hits you different when you're at an age where you guys have seen more of those battles in the 80s and were fully aware of all that, a way I wasn't humanly possible to be. I'm loving feeling that intensity from you guys that have a lot more decades of Notre Dame-Miami history. That's exciting to me. I can't act like I remember what it was all like in the 80s, but I'm telling you, it gets me fired up to hear you guys get fired up about facing that stupid team.
Look, I totally appreciate that because, obviously, I'm the ass end of the baby boomer, right? Born in 1964. So technically I'm right on that cusp between the Gen Xers and the baby boomers. And we saw a lot of good football, and I remember a lot. But, there was a lot of us, the traditionalists and everything, they want Notre Dame to do the same things that they did and just be successful. We are in a new age, and if you don't open your mind up to it and realize that Notre Dame is at the cusp of of being at the pinnacle of college football, even with all the negative recruiting that goes against Notre Dame and maybe all of the handicaps that Notre Dame has as a campus geographically and the culture at Notre Dame. I ran into a kid the other night. And he said, "Mr. Frawley, I got accepted to Notre Dame." And I wasn't going to go because I didn't want to be a nerd. And I looked at this kid and I said, "You come from a working class background. Your dad's an electrician. Your mom's a nurse. And you got accepted and you're going into the engineering school and you don't want to be a nerd?" I said, "Look at me." I said, "Do you know how many people would die to be in your position?" I said, it's one of the greatest spots you're going to go to. And
the kid's got to grow up. That you got to mature quick enough. You got to mature quick enough to realize what you're setting your life up for here, and it's a lot more important.
Absolutely.
It's a lot more important than your perceived status of being a nerd or not. You know what's not being a nerd? Getting out of school and making a whole bunch of money. That ain't being a nerd.
Well, I'll tell you what, and I said to the kid, he also said, I got a 36 on my ACT. And Alabama offered me.
Isn't that perfect? Said, yeah. Wait, isn't 36 as good as you can do? What the hell?
Yeah, kid. But I said, look, you're a Chicago kid. I said, I know there's a lot of Yankees going down in south of the Mason-Dixon line, going to Clemson, going to Alabama. I get it. But I said, that's a different culture down there. You're a long way from home. And I said, remember this. Some of those kids at Notre Dame are phenomenal kids. Most of them are. And you get into that network, and look at the football you're going to see.
Yeah.
That's the best part. He goes, I know, Mr. Frawley. He says, that's, he goes, that was a big deciding factor. He goes, I could give up a lot of the social limitations, as I would say, being politically correct about the campus. But I said, and the people you'll meet down there. And it's just, I said, show me your friends and I'll show you who you are. You are who you have.
Well, that's a little scary when I consider the chat here daily.
I know. You got to choose wisely.
Yeah, look at that's a little concerning. Look who we're with every single day. Oh, Tom,
Absolutely.
I love you, buddy. Anything on the way out? Thanks for taking the time today, man. I appreciate you.
I just, I really think we're at a crossroads at Notre Dame. The fact that and it's overlooked. And I know Andrew talked about it a lot, and there's been other fellas that really study the program. The fact that Notre Dame has a president, Father Dowd, and an athletic director like Pete Pavakwa, and the administration's behind them. Now you've got alumni that are sponsoring these NIL deals.
Yeah.
And it's above board. Okay. It's a new era. So let them cook, baby. Let them cook. And again, that's why look at the recruiting class of 2026. I mean, my God, that's the closest thing to 1988, 89, and 90s. Absolute all-star, 5-star, or trade All-American classes that I've seen.
Yeah.
I mean, 35, 36, 37 years later, it took them because they finally got a coach that bought into the Notre Dame system, and I'm grateful for it. Go Irish. God bless. I'll talk to you guys later. And, John, I'll talk to you offline about the other thing.
Perfect. Have a good one, Tom. See you, buddy.
See you, brother. Bye-bye. Yep.
Oh, what a good guy. 215, you're coming up. You haven't called in over a year. We got some catching up to do. John Kennedy porta potties. They already exist. How did I not think of the Leprechaun? You've seen those, that brand that does like concerts or whatever, where they bring in 50 crappers in a row and line them up. It's called the Leprechaun, and it's a leprechaun like on the logo. That should have been my thing. How do you not think of the Leprechaun? That would have been perfect for me. I'm mad I didn't create it. It's genius, and it has a cute leprechaun taking a dump on the logo or something. Leprechaun. How did I not come up with that? Really unfortunate. It's a missed opportunity, I think. It's a missed opportunity. Carr is the most important player of the year in the Freeman era. I think the coaches did not do him any favors with his development, but you can't go back in time. This is where Denbrock has to earn his money. this is probably accurate. And the other thing with it is it's not just like for this year. That's where I tend to agree with Andrew that it's a big, really outsized importance, because it kind of has to work. Like one of these young guys, it has to work to where you plant the roots with this guy and you're stable and trending up at the most important position in individual sports for multiple years. I mean, you gotta, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. It's got to trend up. Whatever the results are, it's got to be high. I mean, you got to be trending. The trajectory's got to be straight up. You got to end this year feeling like we have our quarterback and it's just going to get better. And if you don't, where does that leave you? It's a big deal. It's a big deal. 215. We have not talked in like a year. What's going on?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Looks like October of last year was the last time we talked. What's new?
No, man, I'm telling you, I've still been listening a lot. Man, it's fun. I don't even know where to start. First with Miami, I'm 51, so I lived through that era of Catholic convicts.
Yep.
Brother going to Notre Dame as a freshman in '88. And now it's funny, he's back there working in an administrative capacity right now. So after working in advertising for 30 years, so I know he's pumped. But so we lived through that Miami, and I'll tell you, I'm living in kind of Penn State country too. Even though Philly is a lot of Penn State alums, but Miami is tied for my most hated team.
Yeah.
When I tell you tie, I absolutely. Not only is there no love lost, there's no talking with fans or, glad handing or none of that nonsense, and ironically, my wife, she's, she has relatives that live in Miami, and guess who they like?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I almost used your line when they said, I almost stroked out and died over it when I heard that.
Yeah, it's tough to get over. It's tough to get over. Now, let me ask you this. This is something Mike Goolsby brought up on the Monday night show. He said, and you'll be able to give an opinion on this because you have the experience I don't in the 80s. He was saying, one of the problems I think Miami's had over the years is chasing that Catholics First Convicts, like the outlaw vibe that those guys all had back then, that whole aura. And he's going, I just don't really think you can replicate that. And they almost need to find a modern identity for Miami because you can't really do the whole like thug life thing anymore. Like you could get away with it in the 80s. And do you get what he means by that? Or how do you think of that? Like they're kind of chasing that vibe, but it's like an antiquated vibe that nobody can really have right now. What do you make of that?
First, I completely agree, and I'll tell you a couple things. I listened to you when Goolsby loved Joliet Catholic's own Goolsby. When you guys talked about it, he touched on it, you talked about it, and I agree. They're not built for this. These players are not, even in 2012, when they had, I think it's the female reporter, she had the Catholic First Conference shirt at Soldier Field. They talked about it when Notre Dame kicked their ass up and down the field. But even then, I don't think those players, that resonates with them because this is a different era. I think a lot of players are softer. Those kids that came out of Carroll, Carroll City, they were tough. I mean, they were from rough areas, but they were just built different. You know what I mean? The Michael Irvins of the world, those guys, as much as I couldn't stand them, they were great.
Yeah.
And even Leon Searcy, if you watched the 30 for 30 Notre Dame, which I know you did, Notre Dame, when they won it, and Leon Searcy talked about the referee having the driver's license nuts in South Bend, he actually came across as a likable dude because I think now they understand that they're like, it was good for college football, but, the fights in the tunnel. But I agree. I don't think these players, when they had that stupid turnover chain back when they had Rick and they were, all celebrating the turnover, that was a gimmick. You know what I mean? That's not sustainable, the turnover chain. So, yeah, I think they keep looking for their identity. And
you know what I mean? They're going to get talent, but I just don't think they're ever going to replicate that in this day and age.
Yeah, it really is tough. And man, you want to talk about how I was joking earlier in the show? It's a big year for everybody. It's a huge year for everybody. There's got to be some real pressure on Mario Cristobal. Like, that's a guy where, like, you were in playoff position most of last year and then it faded. Like, that is a guy with a lot of pressure on him, like tangible pressure, I believe.
Absolutely.
That guy's got to deliver at a different level here.
He absolutely does. And you know, and I know you're very well aware of this, they spent a hell of a lot of money on NIL. So, but that is also not just sustainable if you don't build culture. And culture can't be underestimated here. And I'm telling you, I'm like you. As Notre Dame fans, we always embrace for the worst because we always think, okay, when's the rug going to get pulled out?
Yeah.
We always think that.
Especially if you're my age, man. Think about it. If you're 40, I'm a man. I'm 40. Imagine me at 40, man. It has been a lot of scar tissue that I wish nobody saw.
Well, you haven't been lucky enough to really be old enough to remember the Holtz year as well, right?
Exactly. Yeah, I was 4 when we won it all. And, you know, and so my age group is at a tough run where what could go wrong goes wrong, usually catastrophically.
Yeah. No, I'm telling you, John, I remember all the losses. I remember the losses. I remember the blown loss against Tennessee in 91. We're up like 31-3. And I felt sorry for the poor mascot. Johnny Majors, who was runner-up to Paul Horning for the Heisman in 56 on the sidelines. I even felt bad for them. Then, we beat them in 90 in a great game at 90. I mean, those schedules with Notre Dame back then were insane. They would play Miami. They'd go to Tennessee. USC was loaded. In fact, USC in 89 with Todd Marinovich. I keep mixing his name up. Todd Marinovich.
Smoke him if you got him. Smoke him if you got him.
Smoke him if you got him. But I remember. But I will tell you, I think Notre Dame's on the right track. And another thing too, Joey O'Brien, my good buddy who I work with, his girlfriend's son is good friends with Joey O'Brien. Okay. So Joey O'Brien, of course, everything was kind of under the wraps with the recruiting. I kept trying to get info. I kept saying, I hope he makes that 40-year decision. I know Oregon was moving in hard. Clemson was moving in real hard. And it really did seem like, I think one of your callers touched on, it seemed like whatever school he went to was the flavor of the month or the flavor of the year, whatever you want to say. But in any event, I know his deal, I believe from what I heard, was over $1 million for NIL with Joey O'Brien. But Oregon's still obviously going to make a good push for him. But I think that last visit really solidified the deal for him.
Yeah, they're
it's funny. Like
they're doing a good job. They're doing a really, really good job. They're on a winning streak now in recruiting, and I think it's supposed to continue. Yeah. They're doing a really, really good job, and it's a great way to build momentum. The only thing is the Jagasaw injury kind of weighed things down with the excitement, but they're recruiting. They just keep winning these battles. Haven't lost one in over a month, it feels like.
Absolutely, and they got Golden, I think, the 26th. It's funny. I actually covered ND football for Irish American News Online, and then an Irish paper here in Philadelphia. I actually had a press credential for about a year or two when I was doing that on the side. But it was fun because I got to meet I met Mike Bray, and then when Villanova coach Jay Wright, who was one of the great college basketball coaches in recent history, got to meet some of those people. So that was cool. Hadn't made it to South End to cover them, but always covered them as far as writing, and I always enjoyed your insights. But, definitely, I think we're getting back in that direction, my man. I think we're going to get back to the years when we had Vinny Serrato, things rolling, Holtz. And a lot of people don't forget, Holtz actually went after I'm kind of all over the place here, but Holtz went after he tried to recruit the Nebraska quarterback, Tommy Frazier. Can you imagine what that team would have looked like? So he got Tallis, which was never really a good fit. But Tommy Frazier was the guy that he went after, and I think it could have been much different. Of course, they had Randy Moss and whatever, but I think we're going to get back to where we belong, my man.
Man, we're trending in a good direction. There's no doubt, but you got to prove yourself this year, and you got to show that you're not a one and done. And it's a tough start, and it's going to be exciting, man. I really appreciate you giving me a call. Again, I would like you. Why don't you stay in touch more, man? I know it's a morning show. People are busy, but maybe when we get into camp, dial me up. Let me know what you think about it.
Oh, I'll definitely hit you up because I'm starting to feel I was almost debating going to Miami, but I don't want to end up in jail.
Yeah.
I can't stand. I hate that school so much. No, I definitely will call you up because I'm starting to feel it. And once it turns to August, we just keep our fingers crossed in training camp that we get through with minimal injuries.
Yep.
And then we get to the season. But I'll definitely stay in touch.
That's going to be it. Hey, thanks a lot for joining, man. Good call. Thank you. Have a good day.
You got it. You too, good brother.
Take care.
I'll see you.
Man, dude, that's like everybody I'm cutting off just a little early today. It's I'm losing my touch. Kelly's Commodes. It's not too late, John. What do you put a Kelly logo of his face in there? Like, come on, man. And I don't want that guy to get credit for it. Hey, two things about some other teams here, and then we'll go back. Number one is Kurt Signetti needs to shut up. This guy drives me absolutely nuts. He runs his mouth that they're dominating everyone and they kick the shit out of every top 25 team every week, this and that, and we're the best and we're going to kill everybody. They Google me, I win, all this stuff. And then they're knocking some tough games off the schedule because it's just too hard. This is the world we live in, man. Hypocrisy makes the world spin. Money and hypocrisy make the world spin. So he could just shut up. All the running his mouth and all the tough talk and all that kind of stuff, only to water down the schedule with the first chance he gets. So just shut up. I sincerely hope that program goes back to being nothing. I don't like that guy. Him and Franklin both talk down to Freeman like they have championship skins on the wall. Who do you think you are and why? You're at Indiana. Shut up. And then here's something else too. We always get the Ohio State thing in here because Kent digs it up. And it's like, we haven't beat Notre Dame or Ohio State since 1936 and all this stuff and all that. Yeah. I get it. What is the point? It's like Notre Dame, Freeman has an Ohio State problem. Yeah, he does. And I don't see him on the schedule this year. So what is the point? Like, it's an honest to God question. You're not wrong. We have not been able to beat Ohio State in a really, really long time. That is totally factual, really unfortunate. But I don't know what do you keep bringing it up? We're not playing Ohio State week 1. We're playing Miami. They're not on the schedule. So I don't know what you want me to do. I will acknowledge the pain and embarrassment of not beating them in 100 freaking years, but also they're not on the schedule. So how much time do you want me to worry about us not beating Ohio State since the 30s? Like, I don't know what the point of it is. Do you just want me to like acknowledge the pain? There, I acknowledge the pain and the frustration, but they ain't on the schedule. If they come on the schedule in the playoff, then we'll bring up the whole thing and deal with it all. Unbelievable. My main man, what's going on? Yo.
Hello?
What up?
Hello?
What up?
Oh, shit. Johnny, am I on?
Yeah, you're on.
Oh, sorry, buddy. Hey, I told you I just called in so I can listen. If you got other people holding, go ahead, man.
Sorry. Hey, I don't want to take you away from work. Hang up on me and just listen. That's fine.
Yeah, Johnny, that's what I'm doing. I can't listen to the YouTube, so I felt like I put in the chat, Johnny, go ahead and let somebody else because I just got to listen.
Gotcha. Go ahead. Go ahead. I don't want to. Yeah.
I'll call it. I'm going to call in Friday, though. Friday, I'm going to be 150 days sober, buddy. I'll call in Friday.
Gotcha. Thank you. Have a good one. I do forget that a couple of these guys call in because they can't watch YouTube. But if you're on hold and then you put your phone in your pocket, you can listen to all the audio only from that. And sometimes I forget that people do that. And I got to tell you again, man, I love these people that are at work and they take time to call me when they're at work. John, do you like any other coaches or any other teams or coaches outside of Freeman? No, I don't like any other teams. No, I don't like any other teams. What do you mean? What other teams would I like? You mean in other sports? What other college football teams am I supposed to like? No. If you ain't us, you're against us. Unless two teams I don't like are playing each other, then I pick the one that I like the least. Or the least worst, whatever it is. For instance, Johnny Boy may as well get a bright orange t-shirt because I am going to be pulling for Dabo and Clemson to win their first football game for obvious freaking reasons. Obvious reasons. You know what I'm saying? 949 on the line. What's up, baby?
I'm another one of those that basically most of the time I call in to listen, especially on days that end in Y. But sometimes you or the other callers, the comments will goad me into making a comment. Today, I really have nothing, but I did think about this as I was listening. I'd be happy to fly the flag for you in Arkansas. I'm going to that game. But we can talk about that off the air. Other than that,
I like that. You know what, man? Wait a second. Wait. You're giving me a really good idea. Like, you know what I'm starting to think? Maybe I need to get an extra flag or two made and then be able to send one as a traveling representative flag to anybody in the Always Irish community that's going to any of these games. And then maybe they could fly the flag for us and we just have like a traveling flag that makes its way between the people going to the games when I'm not there. I kind of like the idea.
I'd be happy to do it. True story. When Tyrone Willingham played his first game as the head coach of Washington, I went to that game. Jimmy Clausen was quarterback. But I connected with the Notre Dame Club of Washington. They needed somebody to carry the alumni band flag onto the field. So I had two friends with me. They were dating then. They're now married. Their little son's 8 years old. But the three of us carried the alumni band flag onto the field in pregame, and we got into the game for free. That was a fun thing to do. But just another story of living my life and having fun around Irish football.
Yeah, man, it's up. But you sparked an idea there. Maybe I need to make that offer and just get a traveling flag so one of our people could have it and then they could mail it back to me and I'll get it to the next person going the next week or whatever. It's a really good idea, man.
Happy to do it. I'll see your brother at the Miami game. By the way, on that, you asked me if I bumped into many Miami people, and I don't. But I have bumped into some Penn State people that weren't weird. They agreed that Notre Dame, it was a heartbreaking loss for us, and Notre Dame took us to us, etc. I've ran into 2 or 3 of those people. So that's been intriguing, so to speak.
Yeah, that's man. You're down you're down south. You got to be my mouth of the South, man. You got to keep me in the loop here as the Miami buzz builds. You're down in that area, and you got to keep in touch and let us know what it feels like.
Oh, I definitely will. I always will. What's the best thing to do? Just call in after the show on the recording and just leave my number. I know your brother has it, but it may not stand out in his mind. But either way, happy to connect and talk to you about that, strategize. I've been to a number of Notre Dame away games. I fell in love with the away games experience in 2005, the year of the Bush Push. I went to 9 games that year. Really fell in love with the away game experience. 2 years ago was the first time back on campus in 17 years, just because I fell in love with the away game experience. But that's my story I'm sticking to.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's an interesting one. It's the inverse of mine where I recoil at the idea of going somewhere and just seeing 80,000 people that hate Notre Dame. I have a hard time with it. I'm too immature to put myself in that position because I'll be so angry at everyone. I need to grow up, dude. I need to grow up. Hey, thank you a lot for putting this idea in my head and let me think about how to effectively do it. Thank you.
Will do. God bless you. God bless everybody listening, and go Irish.
Go Irish. Telling you what, man, I got nice callers. Everybody's so nice. The Snipe, $5. Not Wesley, the Justin, $5 out. In my opinion, Indy would have beat Miami last year with the better QB and Cam Ward. Now we get to see what the NDDBs would have done to Beck in the playoffs. This Beck thing is, I don't know what to think. Coming off the injury, I've seen streaks where that guy is feeling it. He's hot. He's in a good little vibe. And I've seen times where it looks bad. Therefore, it is incumbent on you as Notre Dame to make him look bad. That's your responsibility. Your job is to make that guy panic and make you look bad and make him look bad and confused and throw you the football a few times. Throw the football a few times. All right, guys, that's going to be it. What a good, robust show. And I didn't even get to some of the stuff that I was going to talk about, but we went almost a full 2 hours. We're getting into game. We're getting into season mode, baby. We're getting into season mode. I love the energy. I love the vibe. I can't thank you guys enough for calling, for chatting, for donating, being over on the Patreon. I love this show. I love this group. You guys are awesome. We'll see you.